All right. So why strong scientism is self-refuting is this section that we're moving on to.
Right. So now what he's going to do is kind of apply this whole discussion to the claim of scientism, right? Yeah.
Right. So to test our understanding, is the following statement of strong scientism self-refuting? So here's the claim. Only what is testable by science can be true.
Okay.
All right. So there's three criteria that we have to check. So we'll see if it's self-refuting. Does this statement establish a requirement of acceptability? Only what is testable by science can be true. Yes. It says that something must be testable to be true.
There you go. Number one, check. Right.
Right. There's your claim. Does this statement place itself in subjection to the requirement? Again, the statement, only what is testable by science can be true. Well, yes, it purports to convey truth, right? That statement, only what is testable by science can be true, is attempting to be a true statement. It's expressing what must be the case.
So there's number two checked.
So does the statement then fall short of satisfying its own requirement? All right, so only as what is testable by science can be true. Let's test it by science, that statement. Well, yes, this is a philosophical statement about science that cannot itself be tested by science. Therefore, one must conclude that it must be, can't otherwise not be self-refuting.
Self-refuting. There it is, right? So notice what he has shown here is that the claims of scientism are philosophical claims and not scientific claims, right? That's what he's trying to show here, right? And so he says not only is strong scientism false, but it's self-refuting. In addition, nothing will ever be discovered. Again, he gets back to this point because he doesn't want somebody to come back and say, well, you give me enough time and I'll show that, No. Nothing can be discovered that can change this. He says no amount of future research or blockbuster discoveries can show that a self-refuting statement was true after all.
Right.
All right. No, that's not going to work. And so he tells us that the irony is that strong scientism is a philosophical statement expressing an epistemological viewpoint about science. It is not a statement of science, right? Like, for instance, water is H2O or cats are mammals. It is a philosophical statement, of about science. And so it is not a scientific statement. So strong scientism, he tells us, is a philosophical assertion that claims that philosophical assertions are neither true nor can be known. Only scientific assertions can be true and known. So notice, strong scientism says that philosophical statements don't fit the criteria for truthfulness, and therefore they they don't give us knowledge and they're false. Well, the statement of strong scientism is a philosophical statement, and therefore it doesn't fit, and therefore it can't be true. That's what he's talking about here, right?
Right.
And so he tells us that Christians, therefore, should not be intellectually intimidated when they hear very smart people, right, with advanced degrees sitting in positions of authority say things that, end up being self-refuting.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And even still, cats are mammals, but then you throw out the platypus and you have a mammal that lays eggs and has all sorts of weird affectations to its details. And you just go, well, I think the platypus was God's design to throw off our classification system just by 1 degree. So there's that.
You don't say God doesn't have a sense of humor.
That's right.